Dear students, this one is 20th session of JavaScript. This session covers iterative statements with examples. In last session, we have discussed control statements like if else, nested if, and switch statements. And, and now we have discussing about iterative statements with examples. Here, looping statements. A looping structure, also known as iterative statements, where a sequence of statements is executed repeatedly until some condition for termination of the loop is satisfied. Loopings are required whenever a set of statements must be executed a number of times. So, first one is while loop. Here, already C programming, same looping, same here also in JavaScript. Same concept is there and same syntax also. The while loop, you see general form of the while loops, same while within the parenthesis condition and block of statements. Here block of statements, you take curly braces, beginning of the braces and end of the braces. This is the syntax of the while loops. So before applying the while conditions, you must understanding the concept. So here we need first initialization, and within the condition you can apply, within the parentheses you apply the conditions, and within the block of statements you must increment or means updations. So these three procedures is very important: initialization, conditions and updation required. So how to execute? First, already initialization. Suppose example I equals to 1. In the while condition, within the parentheses, the conditions is there. You can apply the conditions. Means how many times statements will be repeatedly executed. So you must give the conditions, and within the block of the statements, after the whatever repeated executions you write down, at the end of them you can apply updation is must. So it may be increment or decrement, depend upon the conditions. Here while conditions, first it is also called as pre-testing. So to check the condition first, if condition is satisfied, then enter into the loop. This is the procedure. Here if condition is false, it is control is transferred to the next statements outside the loops. So here one of the simple program is there. You can same as it is here also. You can in C programming, already how to applying this while program. Same here once program is there. Factorial of given number. Here you can observe. This is one of the example of while loop. So open with Notepad. You have just script type equals to text / JavaScript variable n I equals to 1, f equals to 1. So initialization is must. N equals ports into prompt, enter a number. So whatever you can give the input value to convert into integer number, then assign to the n. Then while loop. So here also within the block of the statement, increment is there. So run the program. Here prompt pop-up window, so asking the values, so give 4. Here you can observe the value factorial equals to 24. So this is the one of the example of while loop. do while loop. The general form of the do while loop is, you see, do, then block of the statements beginning the braces and end the braces. At the end of the braces, while, then parenthesis conditions. You apply the condition and put semicolon. This is the syntax. So here, this one do while loop also called as post testing, because once the program once the enter into the loop and execute the statement, then finally check the condition. If condition is satisfied, again enter into the loop. It will repeatedly execution of the program depend upon the conditions. So here same syntax in C program also have same syntax is the do and within the block of statements while conditions. So when the condition is false, control is transferred to the next statements outside the loop. Here one of the example is the factorial of a number. Script type equals to text bar JavaScript. Variable, three variables is there, n, I equals to 1, f equals to 1, because we already told you can apply uh, that looping, you must need initialization. So then after the condition, then updation. These three is very important. So here, depend upon the programming, you can take the variables. So n equals to parse int prompt, enter a number. So prompt is an to asking the values at the time of running the program. So that value again converted into integer and then assigned to the n. So do while, you can apply the loop f equals to f into I. You know the logic of the factorial of a given number. So incrementing I plus plus. Then while I less than equals to n, to apply the condition. Here once the program will be executed, f equals to f into I. Initially f value, you know, so 1 is there, I value is no into I. I value is 1. So f into I, 1 into 1, f assigned to the f. Then after that I plus plus, I already 1 is there, to incrementing. I value now 2. So like this it will in a repeated execute, it depend upon the condition. Once again check the condition, I value 1 is there, 1 less than, so depend upon n value 4 is there, I less than equal to 4, condition is 2, again it will enter into the loop and remaining statements will be executed. So repeatedly executed depend upon the conditions. So then after that document dot write, document in an object and write is in a method. So whatever that value will be printing factorial value. So this is the simple program for do while loop. Just you can observe how to run the programs or do while loop factorials already. So that program have HTML file, so you can observe uh, script type equals text JavaScript, same proceed. So do while loop is there. So prompt, enter a number, while I less than equals to n, document dot write factorial, save the program. So run, you can observe. So prompt, enter the number, so input, so 5 given, so factorial equals to 420. So you can observe. For loop. The general form of for loop is for. Here in single line, initialization is there, conditions is there, increment is there, in between semicolon. So initialization, condition, increment. Then after that, block of statements is there. Here for loop, first initialization, it will execute. So after that, condition. Depend upon the condition. Condition is satisfied, then only enter into the loop. Enter into the loop and executing the statements within the loop, then check incrementing. So again incrementing after, once again check the condition. If condition is satisfied, then enter into the loop. If condition is false, so exit from the loop and remaining statements will be executed. So here also same program you can apply to execute. Just you can observe for loop. For I equals to 1, I less than equals to n, I plus plus. Then within the block of statements, true part, f equals to f into I is there. So just you can just save the program in HTML and run the program. Just you can observe factorial equals to 24. Nested loops. When a loop is enclosed in the body of another loop, they are said to be a nested loop. Loop having one more loop. Here general format for loop. Just you can observe within the for loop one more for loops. This one is called as nested for loops. So the just you can observe the syntax. Here for first outer loop, inner loop for one more loop is there. So how it will execute? So first outer loop, here main loop, initialization, then check the condition. The condition is true, enter into the inner loop. So here once again, here also initialization is there, condition is there, increment is there. Here, so depend upon the initialization conditions, it will be repeated executions here. So if your condition is false, then only it will goes to the outer loop. So just you can observe the program. Nested for loop is there. So here also you can print the multiplication. Here for this one is the first loop. In within the block of the statements, one more loop is there. You can observe here. So first I equals to 1, I less than equals to 5, and enter into the inner loop. For j is equal to 1, j less than equals to 5. Means inner loop executed 5 times. If 5 times. The 6th time the condition is false, then again exit from the inner loop to goes to the main loop. Again I value incremented to I less than equals to 5 condition 2. Again it comes to the inner loop. Again inner loop, once again it will execute it 5 times. So this is the procedures, same as it is in C programming. Just you can observe. So run the program. So it will appear multiplication of. Here one very important for in loop. For in loops. Here the for in loops through the properties of the objects. The block of code inside the loop will be executed once for each property through the properties of an object. So syntax you follow here: for within the parenthesis key in objects. For and in is a keyword. Next, within the block of the statements, code to be executed. Right. Okay. Just the for in loop. So here, just you can observe the syntax: for key in objects, code block to be executed. So object having a properties. Just you can observe here, one of the example is there. Person is an object having a properties: first name, last name, age. So you can print the properties depend upon the objects. So you can see three properties is there: if name, last name, age. So text, where the text is an equals to no, okay, within double quotes is there, no strings. So here for x in persons, within the loop text plus equals to person of subscript x is there. So just you can observe the program. Just you can observe the program how to apply for in loop. So for, so x is an variable, x is a key. In person, person is an object having three properties. Just you can observe, then print the text values. Here you can observe the output. So three properties: your name, first name having John, so that values will be printing first name, last name, and age. So here is very important object concept. So for x in person, person is an object. Okay, thank you. the break statement. It is used to exit from switch statement or a loop. Here in switch statement, that switch and the expressions is there within the block of the statement, case value, colon, and some statements is there. You breaks. The syntax of the switch statement. Case 1 and some statement break. Case 2 some statements break. So it will execute at case 1. Suppose depend upon the expressions, that statement will be executed, and execute the break statement. Exit from the switch statement. Same as it is here also. One of the example is there. You can observe the for loop. In the looping, applying the break. So here they depend upon the conditions. You can for loop is I equals to 1, I less than equals to 10, I plus plus. Within the block of the statements, that iteration is 10 time iterations is there. But you can observe, and within the block of the statements, if I equals to 5, you are applied the conditions, and if condition is satisfied, it will execute break statements. So here in this case, I equals to 1, 1 less than equals to 10, condition is true, then enter into the loop. Then you check the condition, I 1 compared to 5, condition is false, then document dot write I value printing 1. Same as it did, I will incremented I plus plus, again I value is 2, and then 2 less than equals to 10, again enter into the loop. Same as it is, once again you check the condition to compare to 5, the condition is false, then printing the 2 value. Same as it's 1 2 3 4, it reaches the 5 compared to 5, the break statement will be executed. So exit from the loop. So the only 4 values will be printing. So because it will exit from the loop. That iteration, actually iteration is the 10 iteration, but because your break condition you are applied in this loop, it will exit from the loop. Just you can observe the output 1 2 3 4, only 4 is there, because 5 it will condition is satisfied, the break statements executed. And one more, continue statements. It is used to skip the rest of the statement in the body of the loop, and execution continues until the condition is satisfied. So here also continue keyword is there, put semicolon. Here one more example is there. Here you can observe that particular condition is satisfied, that is the skip the value, that skip the value. You can observe here also same program. For I equals to 1, I less than equals to 10, I plus plus. Open the okay, within the block of the statements, I compared to 5 is there. Here also 10 iterations is there. I equals to 1, I less than equals to 10, I plus plus. Same, it will initialization is there, and enter into the loop. So 1 compared to 5, so condition is false, just printing the values 1 2 3 4. But it reaches the 5 compared to 5. So continue statements is executed, means that skip that value. It will not skip that value, document dot write to that 5 value is not printing. So skip that particular the line, that 5, that okay. Then it will once again it will increment, it will continue, that looping will be continue iterations, means 6 7 8 9 10. You can observe the output. In JavaScript, we can give a label to a block of statements. A label is any valid variable names. To give label to a loop, place it before the loop with a colon at the end. If we want to jump outside the nested loop or continue a loop that is outside the current one, then we may have to use label to break and label to continue statements. You can observe here, just you can observe the nested loop is there, and in okay, this one is here label 1 and colon, then for loop is there, label 2, for loop is there. You can observe here, see the program labeled. Just you can observe script type equals to text bar JavaScript variable JIX loop 1 colon is there. For I equals to 1, I less than equals to 5, I plus plus. Then inner loop, j loop is there. For j equals to 1, j less than equals to 5, j plus plus. And here within the inner loop, so x equals to j into I, document dot write x value. Then if j compared to 3 means here inner loop, actually the iteration 5 iterations is there, but it will j reach just 3, break the loop, break, then loop 1 means it goes to the loop 1 means it will 5 times is there looping inner loop, but actually it will j reaches 3, only 3 iteration will be executed, remaining 2 not executed because the condition, so break will be applying, and again loop 1 it will goes to the loop 1 again, once again I value incrementing, and again it will, the outer loop will be executed. Just you can observe loop 1 colon, then break loop 1, put semicolon. Okay, after means depending on the condition j equals to 3. Save the program, run the program. You can observe only inner loop it will execute 1 2 3, it will reach us 3, it will break and again exit from the loop. Okay. Dear students, references is there, you can refer the as per the Bangalore City syllabus, some books are available. So web programming by Srikant, by Chaitra Ravi, by Mudgan. So and also JavaScript tutorial is very easily you can understanding to, please visit that website. So, thank you. Thank you. End of the 20th session. Thank you very much.